Morning. I had a little bit of time, so I wanted to come by here. I know it's not going to be a lot of people. Nothing is opened. It's early morning. When you've seen past videos or past pictures from anybody, you'll always see this place with a lot of people, and it's sunny. Well, Santa Monica Pier gets very busy in the early afternoon or the weekend. That's when you see the hundreds to thousands of people down here. As far as the sunny skies go, in the late springtime, in the late summertime of Los Angeles, or not just Los Angeles, all of Southern California, it's like that. It'll be like for the wintertime, it'll be clear all day. But for the demographics of this area and anybody who's lived, not just visited, but actually lives in Southern California, can testify to this. In the late spring, in the late and going late spring, going into the summer, early summer, late summer, for some reason, this is the way it is. It will be cloudy in the morning to early afternoon, just going to the afternoon. Then anywhere between 12 to 1 o'clock, it'll get clear. That's why when you see a lot of pictures or videos of whatever someone's posting on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, whatever it may be, you'll see hundreds of people or these thousands of people on the pier, and you'll see clear skies, but those are people who are coming later in the day. Why is it usually sunny all day in the wintertime and then it's cloudy in the late spring, summer, and going into the summertime, cloudy early day but clear in the afternoon? I have no idea. Just the demographics of the area. But this is Santa Monica Pier. Perfect time for me to walk down here. Apologize, I'm picking a time when it's not crowded, when there's not a lot of people sitting out here dancing, doing the performances or whatever it may be. But I get busy later in the daytime, so for me, this is a perfect time. When I have more free time later, I'll come back and do another video when it's crowded. The reason for this video is because I decided to make a YouTube page to where I'm just showing all of, well, not all, I don't have, nobody has time to show all of it, but as much as I can of Los Angeles. So that's the goal. That's what I'm doing. Don't really know what to say. I'm not really a really entertaining person because I'm not used to doing a lot of vlogging or anything like that. So I don't know what I can tell you to make things more interesting. Only thing I can do is just take a walk and just show it to you. But there are a few people out here doing their morning walk. That way is Venice Beach, just to let you know. There's a walk, there's actually from this walkway here, and it goes all the way down that way. You can go all the way to, there's a state beach going towards Malibu. It's still a few miles from Malibu, forgot the name of it, but it's all the way down there. You can't see Pacific Palisades or Malibu because of the clouds. Maybe one of these days I'll get over to Malibu. Muscle Beach is that way too as well, just to let you know. One of these days I might take a trip over to Malibu, show it to you. You know, I have a lot of memories down here in Southern California. I'm not originally from Southern California, but I've been here for about a little bit over 20 years. I had a rough time when I was out here. I was doing very well for myself, came on to hard times, experienced homelessness for about 8 years. And then I went through that situation, started doing better for myself after that. It's just been a rough ride. It really has. For the better, for the worse, but I matured. I grew up a lot going through that situation. I'll talk about homelessness one of these days. I will. I'm not going to go around showing any homeless encampments because I think there's enough people on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, whatever doing that. But I do disagree with a lot of the people who show the homeless tents and encampments, and I'll tell you why. Some people will say, "Hey, there's a content creator showing the homelessness. He knows a lot about homelessness." And the only thing I see for all of the people that are doing it, they're just showing tents. They may talk to a homeless person and every now and then, but they really don't really offer any solutions to the situation. They just give their opinions. The only YouTube page that I've seen that actually helps homeless people, like actually helps get them off the street and deals with them individually, because each person's needs are different. Why they're on the streets, maybe it's their own fault, maybe not. That's their own That's each person's own personal business. Is Invisible People. They do a lot to find out what's going on with homeless individuals and see if they can to help them. He has a pretty big YouTube page. I think he's on Facebook too, but I'm not sure. If you see videos or pictures, there's a sign over here for the Route 66 or Route 66, depending on how your pronunciation is. A lot of people like to come over to this sign. Excuse me. I had a cough. Excuse me. I think that got some of the exhaust from that truck that was next to me. But I'm coming up on it right now. The end of the trail, Route 66, it actually stops here in Santa Monica. There's various signs for Route 66 all the way throughout Los Angeles and California. I actually never knew where Route 66 started, to be honest. I think it starts in Chicago somewhere. I'm not sure, because I think I looked it up one time years ago, but I can't remember. It was somewhere up north, Midwest, somewhere around that area. Oh, they must be doing repairs right here. Must be doing repairs. Well, the wood is kind of old. But this is Santa Monica Beach right here. Oh yes, and here's the sign coming up on it right now. Yeah, you see it right here. Santa Monica, Route 66, end of the trail. See right there. There it is. Sign's pretty popular. See a lot of people come and take pictures. They say, "Hey, we saw the end of the Route 66." It's like, oh, okay. A lot of people later in the afternoon when it gets sunny, when you get the crowds out here. Well, there's not as many as there used to be. Of course, they shut it down during COVID, then they reopened it. But after they removed the COVID restrictions, they started cracking down on people coming down here to perform. I mean, you still have a few performances on Venice Beach and just a few performances on the pier, but they really cracked down on it. I don't know what the reason was for it. They just stopped letting people show up like they used to. I think I heard a while back, I'm not sure. I heard here on the pier you don't need a license to perform, but over in Santa Monica at the promenade you do need a permit from the city. And it's for safety reasons. There's the little fair, whatever you want to call it, right there on the pier. Little fair right there. You might see some videos of people doing some type of acrobatics, or people on that. I never actually seen anybody on that Ferris wheel, even when it's open. Never seen anybody. A few years ago, it was actually right over here. There was a YouTuber. He was going around talking to girls and whatnot, and a young kid got arrested. It was the dumbest thing I've probably ever seen, ever. It was right over here. He said, well, actually it wasn't right there, it was a little bit farther back over there where the water was. It might still be up. The guy asked the girl, well, if I jump off the pier, can I get your number? She said, sure. Of course, nobody thought he was going to do it. He jumped off the pier, then he got arrested. I don't know how much trouble he got into, but I heard he was released the next day. I mean, just for a phone number? Honestly, I didn't know it was illegal to jump off the pier, but I guess it is, because he did get arrested. People got the people doing the work up there early this morning. The reason I'm doing this in portrait mode is because it's easier to hold the phone while I walk. I could do it in landscape mode, but I don't like doing it. It's because when you have your phone in landscape mode, if you have your hand, it's sometimes shaky. I have a phone where it doesn't have that. Some phones have that stabilization control where you can have a phone and the features built in, and even though if you're going rocky, it will still stabilize it to look like you're going straight. My phone doesn't have that, so I have to walk slow, so it shakes as little as possible. Yeah, I got to come back and do this another day when it's clear skies and a lot of people. Got to do that another day. Maybe I'll check the weather for this week. Maybe on a Friday or maybe a Sunday. Possibly. This is a nice walk out here today, though. It's a really nice walk. Right now it's high tide. It's not low tide right now. Oh, by the way, you see the raven down there? Yes, that's a raven, not a crow. Do you know what? There's a lot of differences between ravens and crows, but you know what the actual big difference between the easiest, most noticeable difference between a raven and a crow? And you see them going right next to the pigeon. The biggest difference is that the ravens are about the size of hawks, and crows are about no bigger than a pigeon. Now that is a raven, a young one. It's not full grown because they get bigger than that. But that's how you can tell. They're about the size of a peregrine. How do you even? I don't even know how to pronounce it. A peregrine hawk. That's the size of what a raven is, and crows are about no bigger than pigeons. But it's interesting about crows. Crows are the only bird, from what I have read about, are dumb enough to attack eagles. It never goes very well for the crow. It always ends in disaster for the crow. But for whatever reason, they think they can harass the eagle like they do other birds, and it just always goes bad. It just always goes bad for the crow. See, walking down that, you can actually walk towards Venice Beach that way. There's a pier on Venice Beach. It's not quite as long as the Santa Monica Pier, but it's just a straight pier. There's no shops or nothing on it. One of these days, I don't know what day I will do it. I would like to take a long walk from that side of Santa Monica going all the way down to Venice Beach, because I've actually walked it before, not filming, just taking a walk. At the pace that I walk, it takes about, well, anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour if you're going at a slow pace like this. I think I should do that one of these days. I think that would be a nice walk to show people. Because the page that I want to develop for YouTube, and this is the first video, is a walking page. Sometimes it will be in landscape, sometimes it'll be in portrait, just depending on the area that I'm in. That's all. That's all it is, just depending on which worst part of town I'm in. I was listening to a comment. Actually, it wasn't online. It was in real life. There was a person on the bus, and I was overhearing the conversation because they was just right across from me. They was talking about people wearing masks. 'Cause, some people still wear masks. Well, at least here in Los Angeles. I'm assuming they're doing it in other cities, other states. Even though the COVID emergency is gone. Now, COVID is still here. It's just no longer considered an emergency. Some people still wear a mask. And I was listening to somebody say, well, why are people still wearing masks as COVID is over? Well, you can still get it. It's just now they know it's not a life-threatening situation as long as there's nothing wrong with you. Now, if there's something wrong with you health-wise, then it can be a complicated situation, maybe even life-threatening. But under normal circumstances, most people, at the most, they just show mild symptoms, no worse than a cold, or some to no symptoms at all. They just have the virus, they just contracted it somehow. So it's different for different people, just depending on, just depending on their health situation at the moment. People come down here fishing. If you ever see some videos of people doing videos when it's crowded, you'll see people on this walkway down there. Some people are coming down here fishing. Not everybody. Oh, he's fishing. See, take a look. See the guy right there? So there's one early fisher right there coming by when the big crowds aren't around, and I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all, because fishing's supposed to be something relaxing. And when you're in the big cities, unless you find a lake somewhere a little bit away from the towns and stuff, it's hard to find a quiet spot to fish unless you come really, really early. So I'm gonna walk on back, but I hope you guys enjoy this first video. One thing about Los Angeles, and I'm just gonna bring it out. Now, it was already occurring before COVID. I think the riots during COVID, 2021, 2020, the race riots and things like that, I think it made it worse because a lot of businesses, particularly small businesses, privately owned mom and dad businesses, or some guy or some lady that's they had a little something going for themselves, they had to shut down because a lot of those places got looted. And a large percentage of the protesters weren't even from the local cities. People were getting paid to protest. And the only reason why I knew that because I went down one time and talked to them, and come to find out they was getting $50 a day. Now, a lot of these people that were camped down here to protest, $50 a day. They was bringing other people in. They was doing that for some cases 6, 7, 8 months, depending on which city and state they was in. And you look at that. That's how long the protest last, ongoing for about 6 to 8 months, depending on which state and city you're in. Like I said. And they were getting $50 a day. That's $350 cash they was getting. So I know that's not a lot of money in today's society, but when it's cash free under the table, they didn't have too much to worry about. I don't know how they got into that, but I heard there was advertisements for it, but I don't really know the details. And also, you see where those palm trees right there? That park is Palisades Park. I may actually walk that one of these days, but only on a clear day. I don't see a point in walking it on a cloudy day. I'll do it on a clear day. Oh, there's another person fishing right there. See right there? Doing the fishing. So there's somebody else. So I'm going to walk, even though I walked from the sign all the way to the end of the pier, now I'm walking all the way back towards. I don't know how much space I have on the phone, so if I'm talking in the middle of a sentence and it just shuts off because my phone ran out of space, that's what it is. So just to give you a heads up, I need to clear up some space on my phone. But outside of that, don't really have too much to say. All the years I've been in Los Angeles, check this out. I never knew the name of this theme park until now, because I never paid attention. And today is the first day I realized it's called Pacific Park because I just never paid attention to it. You see, when I first came down here, there was almost nobody here. But now that I'm walking back up, you see now you're starting to see more people. So yeah, as it gets more and more closer to opening time, because if I remember correctly, a lot of the stuff around here opens around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. I think the tours will open early. They where you drive around to see all the rich areas. I don't know why people do that because you don't really see the rich homes that well unless you're like off from the mountain looking like, half a mile down because everything's protected by a wall. Because one time a person treated me to that tour and it's like, it's a waste of time. And I saw you don't really see nothing, just a big wall. Maybe you see the top of the mansion or something like that. But that's really about it. Someone else doing this thing, filming right there, taking a walk at the pier. Look like we've got what do you call the people you see there with the minesweeper? They look for valuables on the beach. There's a specific name for them. I forgot what you call them. I've seen them on TV, but I never actually saw one doing it in real life. And today's the first time I saw one doing it in real life. Because stuff gets buried in the sand. They may find a phone, may find a diamond ring, gold ring or something, or maybe some antique. I don't know how successful they are with that, but I know I'm sure it's a hit and miss. But I'm sure there's times when they get things that are very valuable. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing it. Unless they just like to collect, just random stuff just for GP. So, about almost to the top of the pier. If I don't run out of phone memory, I'm going to keep the video going until I reach the top of the pier. And then I'll stop it right there. So, other than that, I just hope everybody has a great week. I know the week's early. It's Monday. A lot of things can take place between today and Friday, but I hope nothing bad takes place for everybody. Hope you have at least, at the very minimum, a manageable week. I can't say a stress-free week because that's not the way real life works. Be nice if everybody could have a stress-free week. That would be cool. Oh, they got a photo booth early in the morning. I'm surprised that's open. Come to think of it, because you see right there where it says Playland Arcade, which is right there where it says Playland Arcade. And downtown Los Angeles, there's actually an arcade, but you don't know it's there. It's by the Arts District. It's because there's no sign, and it's only open. I think they open it at 5 o'clock. 5, and I think it goes to like maybe 11 or 12 at night. Because when I was walking by, I asked them, I saw the arcade. I was like, is this arcade? They're like, yeah, but it's unmarked. So a lot of people walk by the building and don't even know there's an arcade there. Oh, remember when I said some people come by and take photos? I think there are some people right there taking photos right there by the, where they was, by the Route 66 sign. I think they was. I'm not sure. But now you see the tourists starting to show up a little bit. Not really show up, but just a few people. But really, I need to pick a day to show it to you guys where you come down here and there's literally hundreds of people down here. I need to pick one of those days to show it to you. That's what I need to do. I'm almost to the top of the pier. Almost. See, there's someone taking a picture right there. People traveling. I wonder how long the Route 66 is. I'm gonna look that up one of these days. I'm gonna look it up. Giving her husband a little kiss right there. Isn't that sweet? Give him a little kiss. Bubba Gump. I've actually eaten there a couple of times. Someone who's a friend of mine, actually treated me there twice. I never had an interest in the restaurant, but my friend wanted to go, so I was like, okay, fine. They have the attire from the Forrest Gump movie in there. Don't tell me they're closing. Oh, okay, guest only. Actually, they started putting that up in a lot of places. The reason why, because a lot of people coming in drunk, destroying bathrooms. Sometimes it was the homeless. But you know, it's the interesting thing about the homeless situation, where, because you know, Starbucks. The reason they stuck out, particularly here in Los Angeles and San Diego, a lot of the Starbucks, right? They took, and I know because I asked a couple of managers about it when they used to have all the plugs at Starbucks. They took it out because of the homeless. And you see, the thing is, most homeless aren't causing problems. You've got a small group of people who are addicts. I mean, extreme addicts. They're shooting up in the Starbucks, they're shooting up in the libraries, or whatever. It's this small group of people that keep going to all the areas and getting kicked out, but sadly, all the homeless get blamed for it, because most of the homeless ain't just like maybe like a small 1% that are causing all these problems at all these restaurants, all these businesses. But because they are homeless, all the homeless get blamed for it. Because you know, they don't go around. Well, they're like, okay, well, homeless people, but so they just blame the whole homeless population, and they all got to suffer for it. Because there are some homeless who just want to come in, get a cup of water, and charge their phone and go on about their business. I mean, many will just go to the library, but the library is not open extremely early hours. Let's say 4 or 5 in the morning, like Starbucks is, and shutting down at 10 to 12 o'clock at night, depending on the location. Most libraries, well, here in Los Angeles, they have 2 time frames. Or no, they have 3 time frames, depending on the library location. Sundays, some libraries are open, some are not. They got them 1 to 5. On Saturdays, some excuse me, some libraries are open, some are not. They got them open 9:30 or 10 to 5:30. And the other days, they're open Monday through Thursday, depending on the day. It will either be 12 to 8 or it will be 10 to 8, just depending on the day. But that's where most of the homeless go. Despite popular, and that's one of the problems. A lot of the people who are filming the homeless and all of this, they're filming the homeless who are always causing problems. That small percentage of them. They're not. The ones who aren't causing problems get categorized in with that small percentage that are causing the problems, and it just, like I said, it just causes problems for everybody, like literally everybody. So here we go. We're coming to, I don't even know. He looks like he's going kind of fast. I don't even know if there's a speed limit going down this ramp. Oh yeah, 5 miles per hour. He wasn't going at no 5 miles per hour. Probably going 10. But then again, the police aren't out right now, so not like he's going to get in trouble. As long as he doesn't hit nobody. I don't even know if that was the guy driving. I wasn't even paying attention to the driver. Could have been a woman for all I know. Almost to the top of the pier. Almost. We'll be there shortly. And that's when I'll end the video. But I apologize for walking so slow. It was the only way to keep the, like I said, I don't have a phone. Now the better phones have the stabilization. Like the Samsung Galaxy S series phones. I think Samsung Galaxy S21 and above has it. And Google Pixel phones have it. Maybe when I can afford to get a really nice phone and get all those, and have a phone to do all those video featuring edits, I'll go ahead and do that. Maybe I will. Maybe one of these days. I like to get a, particularly for myself, I think at the very least, I would like to get a used Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. At the very least. Or a Google Pixel 7 Pro used. Because right now they're at the 8. I saw an article. They're getting ready to release the 9 pretty soon. I saw an article about it just briefly. Small article about a couple of months ago. So I'm not sure when they're going to release it. But I believe it's coming later this year. So when I get the extra money together, I'll get a used one. I was looking at Samsung this morning. Even though I don't have the money for it, I was just being curious about the prices. And so I was looking at Samsung on their direct website where they have the refurbished Samsung Galaxy Ultra phones. And they're selling them, like, got the new Samsung Galaxy S24, right? They came out. They're selling the used phones for just $100 cheaper. So I was like, this is not a deal. They're just, the phones are refurbished, but that's not a deal. So I was like, you know what? When I can afford the extra money, I'll probably look on Facebook Market, see if I can get a used one for about maybe $300 to $400. I know $300 to $400 is not a lot for people, but for me it is. That's just how poor I am. It's just reality. So when I get myself in a better position with finances, I hope to be able to get one of those nicer phones and I can do better with video quality. And that's about it. So here I am. I'm at the beginning of the pier once again. I walked all the way down. Now I walked all the way up. So now I'm going to stop it right about here. Sorry, once again, I'm not the most exciting because I don't know how to do vlogging very well. I'll learn as I go. And hopefully I'll get better at making vids. So everybody have a nice morning and enjoy the rest of your week.